Hello fashion lovers, welcome to another videos. In today's tutorial we'll be working on this Bubu gown with side ruffles by this side. So if this is what you would love to learn, kindly stay tuned and watch it there. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe. And thanks for my returning subscriber, thank you as you do so. So for this style you need about 2.5 yards of your material. I'll be using this a direct crepe material of 2.5 yards or so. Yes, 2 yards and 5 inches. Then I'll be using the organza for the ruffles by the sides, and which is 3 yards also. So the length of the adire fabric, adire crepe, is 62. So I will just work by the length of it. And this design at the front, I will make sure that it's center at the front. So I will just fold my fabric into 2, which is that of the 2 yards. I'll fold the 2 yards into 2, which is 36, which will represent both front and back. Then I'll fold it again into 2, which makes it 4 fold. Alright, so that's what I mean, measuring 36 inches, which makes 1 yard. Then I'll fold into 2, then into 2 again, which makes it 4. Then if you notice at the beginning of that, I'm showing the material, I was holding 2 zip. I'll be putting that at the shoulder. It is optional. It is just for nursing mother. So if you're a nursing mother or you're sewing for a nursing mother, this should be of help. So the zip will just be at the shoulder. So after folding it into 4, I will just arrange it smoothly, ensuring that it aligns properly, using my tape to measure them. I will use my pin to hold them down. Alright, after I've arranged it in place, then I'll measure my neck depth, which I marked 7 inches. 6 inches rather. So you can do, if you want it deeper, you can just work with your neck depth. So the neck width, I'm just trying to measure my shoulder to be sure of what will be left for the sleeve. So the shoulder is 8 inches, and then I will check the remaining one, which is about 9 inches or so, or 10 inches, which is enough. So from the edge of the sleeve, I will just come down by 1 inch from the shoulder slope. This is for the shoulder slope rather. So I'll mark the 1 inch by the side. Then I'll measure the neck width. Also, if you want it wide, just sitting on your shoulder. If you want it wide, like the neck side, if you want the neck really wide, then you can just slant to the 1 inch slope that we did. But then I don't want it that way, so I will just go by the width of 3.5 or 4 inches. I'll measure that now. Then okay, so if you are doing that width, like if you are working with your shoulder measurement, if you want the dress to be on your shoulder, then you will just work with your v-neck sleeve. So I will just go down by 7 inches, because I did 6 inches initially, so I wanted it at 7 inches and depth. So I will mark that, then measure the width of 3.5. Yes, I work with 3.5. Then from there I will now use my ruler to connect the v-neck line. If you want a round neck, you can do it, and if you want v, you can do it. It all depends on you and what you want. So I will just connect the v-neck line. Then the shoulder slope, I will connect straight from there to the width also. Just watch closely as I do it, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. Alright, so the next thing I do is I just went up by 1 inch again. So I use 6 inches for the neck depth instead of 7. So because by the time I sew the 7, I discovered that it would be more revealing, so that's why. And being the fact that we still put zip by the shoulder for nursing's sake, I actually don't need it, the neck really wide like that. So which is what I do. Then I will just connect it to the neck width back. So that's what I changed there. Alright, the next thing is to go down by your bust points. So on that bust point that you went down, mine was about 10 inches. So on that same line, I will measure the bust divided by 4, which is 10 or 11 inches thereabout. I will mark it. So for your ready to wear, if you are doing it for ready to wear, if you want it very free, you can just add 6 inches straight up to your 10 inches bust divided by 4, or you add the 6 inches to your main allowance. That is if you don't want it too wide or too big. So you can just add the 6 inches there, you divide it by 4. What I mean is, if your bust is 40, you add 6 to it, which is 46, then you divide it by 4, then you use that as your new bust, just to avoid it being too big on your body. So it all depends on what your client wants. or what you think. So that's what I did there. I just added about 4 inches or 5 inches to it by the side, which makes it about 15 or so. So I will just measure. I come down from the shoulder slope by my armhole length, which is 9 or 10 inches. I added 1 inches to it just to make it more free. So I make a curve around that side. I hope you understand what I explained. Just watch the video clearly. Yes. All right, so from there I'll measure down from the shoulder. You place it on the neck side, not down 1 inch we went down. So I'll measure the hip bone side, which is 26 inches. That's hip line measurement. Then after marking it, I'll divide my hip into 4. So I'm doing that with my tape, folding it into 2, then fold that one into 2 again, which gives me the measurement I want. So I will now add the allowance I added for bust. So if you add 4 inches to your bust, you add 4 inches to your hip divided by 4 also. And also, if you want it not too fitted, not too free, so you can also add 6 inches to your bust, to your hip rather, before you divide it into 4. Then you work with it and add your allowance. So that's what I did there. I think I added 5 inches to it. So I'll connect the lines together, then connect it also down. Just work with your free hand or you work with your ruler. This is Bubu, so you don't need it too shapy on your body. So alright, I shifted it up so that we can see the down part. So for the M side, I think I went in by 2 inches or so, or 1.5, then connect it straight to the hip. Yes, that's what I did there. Then we can now go straight to cut them out. Alright, for the armhole side that I added 1 inch, I think I added 2 inches. My armhole length was 8 inches, so I added 2 inches. The 1 inch will represent ½ inch to sew, or 1 inch to sew by the side and ½ inch to sew by the shoulder. So just make sure you observe that so that you will not have it too fitted on your arm when you sew them. Alright, the next thing is to consider where you put your zip. This is if you want to put zip, or if you are not putting zip, just fold and make sure your clothes, the right is facing right, then you join the shoulder first. So for me, that I'm putting zip, I will just mark the line I will sew the zip before I now go to stitch them together. So when you are using zip, just mark the place you want your zip to start from. Definitely it's going to start from where your neckline stopped, the neckline you cut. So from the edge of the neckline, that's where the zip will start. Then you just know where you want it to stop, then you mark it. Then go to your sewing machine, right facing right, then you stitch the neckline of the allowance left for the zip. But if you are not putting zip, just stitch it straight. Then you can now use our bias to turn the neck round, which is what I did. So after joining that, you had your zip, then use bias to join them together, like to turn the neckline together. I hope you understand. I don't think that part showed in this video, but that's what I did. Sorry, you have to turn your neck with bias first before you now join the zip to your shoulder. So you are joining zip to the shoulder. All right, this is the organza material and it is 3 yards. So I will just fold the length of what I needed for the dress, for the ruffles. So this is how to calculate it. You can okay, for the front of the, you know, it is 2 sides now. So for the front and the back, the ruffles will go all the way from the hem of the back dress all the way round to the front of the hem of the front dress. I hope you understand what I mean. So to get that, it means if your length is 60, it means it is 60 times 2. That is 60 multiplied by 2 for front and back. So that will work for both sides, like for your right ruffles and your left ruffles. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I pray you understand. So when you have it, that means it's 120. So you multiply 120 by 2.5 or by 2. So it all depends, or even by 3. It all depends on how full you want your ruffles to be. So I multiplied it by 2.5. So the length that it gives me, I will cut it by the width of my ruffle. So if I think I work with 7 inches, and if you want yours to be smaller, you can work with 5 or 6. Just consider the fact that you will use ½ inch to sew to your main dress, and you will hem that ruffles also with 1 inch. That is, you fold twice, or 1.5. So you consider that before you cut the organza length out. Alright, so this is the zipper side, and this is what I mean. I've already turned the neckline using bias before I place the zip on it. Can you see? I've used bias to turn the neck also, and this is what it looks like. It is invisible zipper that I use. So when you sew it, this is what you should have. So the next thing is to attach the ruffles to this side of the dress. So I've attached it here, and after attaching it, this is what it should look like. I think I multiply my ruffles measurement by 2, so it's not really that full, but it's full to an extent, as you can see. So I've put it like this, like you see me showing you. So this is how you place it, the right of the ruffles on the main dress. Also, just make sure that you hem your ruffle before doing this, or you leave the organza like that. It all depends on you, but it's better to join it together before you it's better to hem it rather before you join it to the dress, just to make it easy for you. So after that, this is what the hem look like. The next, I left about 1 inch on the dress, so by the time I fold twice, you will see, by the time I fold it twice, I will still trim off that ruffles at the edge. So when I fold it like this is what it should look like, and I will do it to the organza, stitching it straight like that for the hem. So from there, we will now consider the last step is to open your dress like this. As you see me holding it, just place it on your machine, then you consider your armhole length, then you start stitching straight on your fabric like you want to sew agbada. You sew it, then align your dress. You can use your pin to align them together before you sew them, so that you won't have imbalanced dress sewing. So then you sew by your allowance straight down. You can also leave the is either you sew it straight down, or you leave about 10 inches up from the hem, then you stop your stitch from there. And that will be all for this video. I hope this tutorial is helpful. Kindly like, subscribe and share, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye.